All right, everybody. Hello and welcome. I am Melanie Levitz, and today we're going to teach you on how to present, particularly with Club ViaGo. So the first thing I would love for you guys to do, if you haven't already done so, is grab a notebook and pen, because you'll definitely want to take some notes so that you can follow back to your notes to be able to present accurately and more not confidentially, but more with confidence. Okay. So the first thing that you would want to do is know where to access the slide decks. So we have a website called Elite Synergy System, and I'm actually going to go there to it so you can see where it's at. And there's two types of actual slides, okay? So you are either working on a MacBook, which is an Apple product, or you're working on a Macintosh, which would be a PowerPoint slide deck. So let me go to the website first so that you can see what I'm talking about. Elite Synergy System.com is the website you're going to go to find the slide decks, and they will always have them updated on this website. Okay, so you can see it talks about the next event. You can scroll down and it'll show you the promos, and you'll go straight to where it says presentations. Click on it, and here you'll see that we have access to many slide decks, whether you want to have them in Spanish, in English, or we even have them sometimes in different countries. So here's where you'll find all of the different countries that are available. Today I'll be showing you the English version. And as you can see, there's an opportunity to download a video, or you can download the slides. And today we'll be talking about the slides. So I'll simply select the download slides section. And you can follow along with me on my computer, as you can see on the screen, and then later on do this yourself, okay, as the recording will be posted. So you'll find that there's a few different options. You'll see obviously the date that it's most accurate, which was January 22nd. You'll see that there's a PDF version, which is great if you don't have access to PowerPoint on your computer, or Keynote. PowerPoint, you'll see that it ends in PPTX. This means that you would use it for a Macintosh, excuse me, not Macintosh, Microsoft, okay, or any other computer that is not an Apple product. PowerPoint. PPTX is the abbreviation for PowerPoint. If you do have an Apple product, then you would use Keynote. What's great about Apple is that everything that you do on your computer will automatically go on your phone, as long as you have the app on your phone downloaded, which is also called Keynote. Okay, so you would click on here and you would download it. There's an option here in the arrow. You could either double click or you can select the one-click download. I will not show you how to download it today because I already have it downloaded, but this is what it looks like. It will scan for viruses, and it will say, can't scan for viruses. Are you sure you want to download this? You're attempting to download an at-risk file, and you can say yes, download anyways. Okay, so don't be nervous about this. It's just for you to know that it wasn't scanned for viruses, and it will be fine. Okay, so once it's downloaded, it will open up your download files. So my download files, I'll show you what that looks like. You may not be able to see it. Let me open all my screens. Okay, so the download files. So once it's downloaded, you'll go to the file where it downloaded, and you'll open the file. So here's the file that I had downloaded back in last month in January, and you double click it and it will open the file in the application. So if it's a Keynote, it will open in Keynote. If it's PowerPoint, it will open in a PowerPoint slide presentation. Okay, so I already have mine. And as you can see, It's here. So once I have the file downloaded, it will look very similar to this, minus all the photos that I have added. So if you want to add photos of yourself, which I highly recommend, especially going into an introduction in the very beginning of who you are. So a proper introduction of who you are to let other people know is pretty much your name, your background, where you're from, your limiting belief, and your results, okay? So what I do to add my photos is you can click on the document or the slide deck in the PowerPoint or Keynote, and you would select add slide. Which mine is right here. Okay, so I would add a slide, and then I would go down to the media section. Of course, PowerPoint is different, but it's the same system. You would just have to find where it says add slide. Okay, so you would either click on the slide and you can double click, or you can click and it will show you to add slide, or if it's like mine here, it says on the very top, add slide deck. Once you are in the slide, you'll see I clicked on it, it's highlighted blue. It will be the same thing in PowerPoint. Once you click on it, that means that's the slide you're editing. Then you would go to media and you would go to your photo section and you would add photos there. If you don't have photos in your photo album on your computer, then you could either save them from your Facebook photos albums, you can email them to yourself, and then on your email on your computer, you can save them to your files, and then you'll be able to add them to your presentations. Okay? So I have a ton of photos. It's going to take a little while for all of them to upload. Once you find the photo that you like, you simply click on it, hold the click down, and you'll drag it in to the slide. It's very simple. You click the photo and you drag it in to the slide. Okay? This is how you add your photos. If you don't find the media section like you see here in Keynote for me, you simply can go to File, and then you can add or insert, and you can add your pictures there. Image gallery. So again, it could be different on PowerPoint than it is Keynote. So if you're having difficulties finding where to add photos, just go to Google and type, how do I add a photo to my PowerPoint slide on a Microsoft document or a PowerPoint, okay? And it will tell you step by step. It's very simple. If you're not sure, you can Google it. Just ask Google the question. So once you get your slides in here, as you can see, mine simply just tells you, hey, I'm Melanie Levitz. I'm originally from Miami, Florida, grew up learning what not to do. So I joined the Air Force. And 14 years ago, here me on the left, I was 28 years young. I was a student in college, and my plan was to stay in the military and do 20 years. And one day, one of my officers came to me and said, hey, I got something you got to see. And I watched a video, something similar, very similar to what I'm about to share with you. And I said yes to saving a ton of my vacations. I saw an opportunity to go on $200, $400 all-inclusives. And it was a no-brainer. I said yes right away. And at the end of the video, they told me that I could make money sharing the concept with my friends. So this is, again, my story. I'm talking about my name, my background. I said yes right away. And now I'm going into my limiting beliefs. I said yes right away. I was a no-brainer. And of course, I was going to share it with my friends. But I thought it would just pay off my credit cards and I make a couple $100 here and there. That was my limiting belief. What's your limiting belief on either why you didn't say yes right away or what you were a little bit nervous on? We all have a limiting belief. And if you're not sure, then just get with me later and we can figure that out, okay? Mine was I thought it would be just a couple $100 here and there and pay off my credit card that I maxed out to join. Little did I know that it would actually replace my entire 12-year Air Force income in just a few years. And here's me on the right, just a few years ago in Utah, at my last Air Force Reserve duty station, where I just retired at 23 years in September. So that's my story. And because I said yes to the travel side, I've been able to see 44 countries. You all have travel photos, whether you've been at an event or you actually attended a trip. Share your travel photos. People love to see where you've been. So I always say, I went to Cloud9. It really exists in Fiji. I held baby lions in Africa. Took my best friend to party in St. Patrick's Day in Ireland. Pinched myself at the Great Wall of China because I couldn't believe I was really there as I learned about this in grade school. Who would have known I would actually have the opportunity to go see it? And also checking off bucket list like Rockefeller Center in New York, Times Square for the holidays. Okay. And then I talk a little bit more about the personal growth and development, being a trainer, flying around the world. And then I go into my accolades. I saw this and people love to learn about you and will love to celebrate you. So talk about your accolades, whether you graduated high school, you got a degree, you know, what you did throughout your career as an employer, and now what you're up to and what you've been able to achieve here in ViaGo. It may not be as extensive as mine yet, but you have achieved great things, whether you've met some amazing friends, you've learned personal growth and development, you were able to travel to over 30 vacations in 5 years, whatever the case may be, you've accomplished something, okay? Put that here. And then now I go all into the business. So you're pretty much just going off of the slides. So the newest downloaded version that you'll see, let me open those. Oh, I just, let me go back to here. Oops. I was going to show you Eric Rosbowski's, but it's not showing. I just downloaded it before our call and it's not showing yet on my Keynote. It's on my phone only. So it hasn't converted yet to my computer. Actually, I could just open this one. No. Oh yeah, here it goes. Okay. So this is the actual slide deck that you'll be able to download and you can add your pictures to if you haven't already downloaded it. Okay. So if you see some like this one that I have that it talks about the history, you can let me know and I can share it with you. But the new slide deck doesn't have that. Okay. So this is what it looks like to start. And then you have all these hidden slides that you see that are lines. So here's where you can actually add your photos. In order to, this is a slide that's actually hidden. In order to unhide the slide, you would double click it and you would hit unskip slide. So now all the slides are here and you can actually add your photos, okay? So it goes right straight into talking about the membership benefits. And when you hit play on your PowerPoint, it will actually go through and show you the next slides that are in there. So here it talks about the travel aspect with the a la carte booking, and pretty much just telling people, you know, sharing a few things on this website that you could read off the slides. If you feel like you're not sure what to say, then just read off the slides until you start listening to other people's presentations frequently, so that you can get what you like from their presentations and you can just incorporate it in your presentations, okay? So I talk about on this slide that there's 1 million properties around the world you can choose from at wholesale prices, to include flights, hotels, car rentals, week-long stays, marketplace activities, lifestyle. And then I always share a personal experience or someone else's experience. Okay, for example, I'll talk about going to Las Vegas for the launch of our club in October and saving $25 off of booking the Sphere tickets per person, okay? And then going right into the slide decks of the resorts and talking about how the public price is available for you to see on every resort, and then going right into the actual price that we get, and then the savings. So the very first slide on this one, I'll talk about each thing, but on the next slide, I just say the savings. So I'll say, if you want to come visit me in Miami, or if you want to get out of the cold, then you can go to Miami for a condo on the beach and save $140 a night. You can talk about Glacier National Park at $45 off a night. So now I'm just going through these way faster than I did on the first slide, okay? Because I don't need to read every word for word on each slide, because I already got that on the first slide. This one is talking about a 57% savings. So you can see the fine print here at the very bottom. Instead of saving how much you're saving a night, it's kind of, I always use bigger numbers, where this is 57% off. Makes a bigger difference, right? Again, there's a couple other slides that are hidden. So if you know somebody that wants to go to Italy, then you should unhide this slide so that they can see this Italy trip and the savings, okay? I don't know. Oh, this slide deck just opened. Okay. Here's Glacier National Park. We have Vietnam, Dubai. And then you also can talk about, on the Mexico trip, it talks about the rewards escapes, okay? Or actually, let me go back to this one. So then it goes into the rewards escapes, right? So here I pretty much read almost everything, saying that you're going on 4- and 5-star vacations, even 4- and 5 diamond properties, where the company handles all your booking and reservations. It's like a click it, book it, and go. And your trips have practically everything included. And then it goes right into the first example. Round trip transfers to and from the airport. So again, you're reading practically everything from the very first deck of the escapes on the slides. And then every slide after that, you're just talking about the price. So you can get through the presentation much faster. Okay, this one has the numbers on top of each other, but when you hit play, it will reformat itself. And the reason why it has numbers on top of it is because this slide, when you click it again, it will actually have another thing that pops up, which is the rewards program. And that's where you talk about the savings with the rewards program, where you get every dollar back that you put into it to join to use towards a trip. We call those reward points. So on this example, you can apply 200 points, and instead of paying $850, now you're paying $700. Okay, so actually these slides have changed. So this one on my slide deck was 200, so now it's 150. Actually, it's 300 points, because it's based off of double occupancy, right? So you get 300 points off on this one. And then here's another trip to Playa del Carmen. Here's another one to Vietnam. So I'm not reading everything word for word at this point. I'm just talking about you can go to Vietnam for $475 for 5 days, Dubai for $539. And oh, by the way, we're planning a New Year's trip to go here as well. And we even have escapes in the States. Okay. And then I explained to them on this last one that they come out practically every week. You can also build your own escape. So if you don't see one that you like, you can create your own, request it. And you can go to places like Costa Rica, Greece, Thailand. So I'm reading the ones that I haven't talked about yet. Okay. Philippines, Turkey, Morocco. And then of course, I know which trips are out and available because I go in the Club ViaGo portal every so often and I go and see what's available, right? So log into your escapes website to be able to see what's out there so you can be more knowledgeable. So especially if you hear people talking about wanting to go somewhere, you can tell them. Like today at the social, this lady's like, oh, I want to go to Bali. I was like, wow, if you want to go to Bali, we're going there for $475. She's like, what? And she's like, I need your number. So be aware of what's available so you can have these conversations happen for you organically. Okay. And then you have access to the telemedicine, healthcare. I always just say, a story that I've learned actually at our last member deals where one of my friends went to Mexico. She woke up with a swollen eye. The hotel staff told her to immediately go to the hospital. And she said, you know what, let me call my teledoc service. And within one call, I was able to get eye drops at the local pharmacy and it saved my trip from going to the hospital. Right? How amazing is that? And not to mention, you can save on healthcare insurance with $8,000 in average savings a year. Okay. Now, my daily deal savings actually goes after this first slide, but they have it differently. So if you look at my slides, that's the first thing I talk about. I go into the mission statement. I go into the member deals. And as you can see, I even show an example where I added a picture on top of this. So when I hit play, this option actually comes, it doesn't show up until I hit the next button and then it shows up. You can add this on your format section if you want to get creative and start adding more photos. Or to keep it simple, again, you just go here and you would add a slide. Okay. And then you would get the picture. So I'm just going to copy this to show you what it looks like. You can go to the picture and you can just copy it and paste it. So it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to look like mine. But I just wanted to show you the simplicity. If you can't figure out how to get it to go on top without it showing, again, this is under formats. So it gets a little more intricate. How do you say the word? And you can see here where I had it added on my transitions. So you see it on the next slide when I click the button. Okay. So that's how my member deals looks. I like to go into the benefits first, and then I go into the travel because I want to keep their attention. And I find that keeping their attention with talking about travel last serves me best. And of course, whatever trips you've been on in the past, create a slide that shows what that looks like for you. So we have Zimbabwe trips, right? So I just pretty much copied this trip. I took a picture of it, added it to this slide deck. I took a picture of what's included. So you can see these are all separate pictures I annotated, right? And I cut out. And then I added my own picture. So that's a picture, that's a picture, that's a picture, and I just added them. And when you want to adjust the size of the pictures, like I did here, you would just click on the picture. So you can see these little highlights show up, these little white blocks. So if I click here, it shows up on this one. You can see here on the end. If I click on this one, it shows up on this one, and you can just put your cursor over these blocks on the edges of your photo, and it will allow you to move it around. So if I wanted to take this and make it smaller, I would click it and I would drag it down. And as you can see, I can make it smaller. Okay? Again, if you're lost and you're not sure how to do it, go to Google and say, how do I adjust my picture in my PowerPoint slide? And it will literally tell you word for word how to do it. Okay, or feel free to call me and I can also help you. And then I also talk about our voluntourism trips that we have. And again, I added my own picture. So you can see this is the picture that was an old trip that I took, right? In a different company. So I hid all of that. And I just simply added my own picture over the wording that I didn't want people to see. And then these were our team trips that we had a few years ago that I was promoting. So I had those in there. If you want to delete something, you just highlight, you click on the slide deck that you want, and then you can either double click it, or if you're on a Mac, you 2-finger click it, and then you can delete it and it will delete the slide. And then I talk about the members only benefits, right? With our discounted tickets to major sporting events, the Kentucky Derby, VIP car shows, music festivals, concerts. And then I go into another story and I say, hey, by the way, my friend in Texas saved $200 off Chris Brown concert tickets for his family, saving over $1,200 the day of the show. So again, I'm adding stories for people to understand and gain the belief of this, that not only is it my story, but other people are winning as well. And I'm sharing other people's stories. Okay, so you can see my slides are pretty much the same as the ones that you could download. It goes into talking about your marketplace, getting clean, plant-based, organic nutrition, world-class Dead Sea personal care, and branded merchandise. And that's all I talk about for the products for now until they start coming back on inventory, which should be very soon. And then that's it. And I let people know, and that's it. This is the recap where you have access, and I would literally read word for word, access to, well, not word for word, but mostly to your own a la carte booking portal with ProSearch, your curated VIP experiences with our escapes, unique experiences, telemedicine program. And I tell people on the telemedicine slide that you're saving $40 to $80 on the monthly subscription alone, because that's what people are paying outside of our club, and we include it in your membership, which is a huge deal. Everyday savings, and you also get the best prices as a member on our marketplace. And then I always tell people this is our most valuable pack because we only showed this pack during the presentation. And at the end, when I'm closing them and I'm asking for the sale, and if I get some feedback as to why they may not want to join, and it sounds like because it's a financial reason, because it may be too expensive, then I let them know at that point there are other packs that they could join with, smaller packs. So a lot of people will get started with a smaller pack, and then I tell them they could always upgrade later on, pay the difference, and get the points. Okay. And then I always give them, this is the 450. With that, you get 600 points. So you're getting 150 on top of what you purchase, plus 100 ViaGo points every month thereafter for your monthly membership, and a trip every single year. Those trips could either be a $250, $258 cruise per person for 4 or 5 days. We don't have a slide for that yet, but they announced it at our last event. So I just verbally tell them. Or you can use a 7-night hotel getaway for $149 resort fee, and you have options to upgrade to all inclusives. Again, it's not on the slides. I just recalled them saying that at the event. So I let them know. Or if you're like me, I like the escapes. Everything's done for you. Book it, click it, and go. And you can convert that to 1,000 ViaGo points. Where at this point, you can apply up to 500 points per trip that I've seen. And that's good for 2 trips. And that's the club, Life Amplified, every day, everywhere. By this point, I would only want you guys to just worry about the front half. If you are ready to start presenting and you're new or you haven't presented yet, get with me so that I can work with you on presenting on the first half. And then you would introduce me at this slide and I would take over and go into the business side until you started feeling comfortable doing the whole thing. So what it would look like is your first presentation I would do with you for your huge announcement party. You would do the introduction. I would do the whole presentation. Our second huge announcement party for you would look like you doing the first half, and then I would do the second half, meaning the business side. The third presentation or the fourth, you would do the whole thing and I would coach you and I would give you feedback on what that looked like for you. And by then you wouldn't need me anymore. That's the ideal way to do this, to build massive duplication. Okay. So if you are ready to present on the business side, then it just goes into to become a brand ambassador with us. It's only $49 initially one time, and it's only $99 every year thereafter. So annually, it's a $99 renewal fee. You go into Warren Buffett's quote about you not finding a way to make money while you sleep, you'll work till the day you die. And he's a very successful entrepreneur who even owns 3 other companies similar to ours. There's 5 ways to get paid. Direct residual team leader bonus. I always say leader instead of sapphire because people don't know what sapphire means. We do because we're in the company, right? But the people that we're presenting to doesn't. So I always say leader bonus and then check match bonuses. The 2 I'll talk to you about is direct and residual. As you can see, they're highlighted. So when you get started and we share this with other people, they all pick the ViaGo pack that you just saw. You're going to earn a $100 bonus. That's huge. And I let them know that's a huge commission on direct commissions for somebody getting started for only $450. Now I tell them the goal is to help them get 6, not only because you're going to make $600, right? But you're also going to get your fees waived with 6 people. And of course, those people would want to get their fees waived. Let's say only half of them did that and they got their 6. Now your team grew to 24 members and you're at the second level of residual income. Here's where another story comes in. Remember, the more stories or analogies that you could put in, it creates relatability with those that are listening. And when you have relatability, they tend to want to get started because they can believe that they can do it. So when I tell them, I don't know about you, but $200 a month covers my electric bill. And when you can cover your residual bills, like your electric, your water, your rent, mortgage, your car payment, in residual income, I call that freedom. Okay. And then here's another slide that's hidden that again goes into it continuing to grow. You can create $5,000 in income, and it actually goes up to $85,000 a month at Black Diamond with 10,000 people on your team. This is required to have in every slide according to the regulations in our industry. And I don't read it word for word. I just say what you put into it is what you get out of it, like anything in life. But what's great, moving into the transition into the next slide, is that we work together as a team. We have a proven system that is available 24/7, like our ViaGo Inner Circle.com. You can see ViaGoInnerCircle.com, where you have access to, and you can read this stuff, live previous recorded trainings, private interviews, exclusive inner circle parties at events, the how-tos, and we even have live events, which would be our next one called Amplify in Atlanta, Georgia, May 2nd to the 4th, as well as a more local event in your area with 11 across the United States, 11 locations on March 8th. Okay. So getting started is very simple. If you want to join and go all in, like most of us do, it's $4.99 one time, $99 a month. Again, you get 600 ViaGo points, 100 points every month thereafter. And every year you're a loyal member, we want to say thank you. And we give you a getaway every year. But as we say, time is money, right? Now I have a few other slides that I like to use. I'll show you mine, which is the travel industry and what it's worth, as well as talking about the 4 ways that people can earn income by Robert Kiyosaki, exchanging time for money versus owning a system, using leveraged income. J. Paul Getty being one of the first recorded billionaires in the world, rather have 1% of the effort of 100 men than 100% of my own effort. That's definitely working smarter and not harder. And then the other slides that I have is every business goes through 4 phases of growth: formulation, concentration, momentum, and stability. And I always talk about how a household name like Apple or Nike, it's very difficult for a lot of people to make a lot of money in that company when it's a stable company, versus finding a company that has yet to hit momentum, where the opportunity of a lot of people making a lot of big money is more likely. And sharing my own personal experience, how I've been able to go through that wave of momentum and experience it myself. And then I tell people this next slide is the reason why I maxed out my credit card at 28 to join, because I don't want to miss out. And it talks about getting started now, locking a position in on your friend's team. If you are the type of person that you need to think about it, pray about it, wait on it, ask your spouse, move money around. So I'm handling all of the objections at this point. So before I get to the close, I pretty much told them everything that they would be thinking at this point to not get started. So I'm handling all the objections in my presentation. Whatever the case may be for that person, I let them know, no pressure. We're just here to help you understand the value of locking your position in now, so that you wouldn't miss out on all of the sales that would come in after you. Okay, and it's pretty much the same thing here, except I changed the name to Melanie because I talk about my own story of building a team of 11,000 people. Okay, again, I'm telling more stories. I'm probably telling about a good 5-6 stories in my presentation. And then I've created this video of a testimony from our founder on what his mission is and his morals and characteristics and what he's doing here, building this amazing community. And then we have the close to become a customer, pick a pack, or be an ambassador. And it's the same thing here. That's the slides. Very simple. If you have some people on your presentation after you finish, have them share their stories, their testimonies. And if you have a leader to close, instead of you closing, if you're not comfortable yet, have them close until you can be able to close yourself. I can hear you. But make sure if you're going to close yourself, you're asking the closing questions. So if you're asking the closing questions and you have the slides up there and you're like, are you an A, B, or C? Then you should be asking them, are you an A, B, or C? And not just saying, are you ready to get started? Okay. So if I'm doing a group presentation, I usually use the A, B, and C closing technique. And I'll go around the room to all the guests. And if somebody already insinuated that they were ready to get started, I would go to them first and ask them, because more likely people will follow suit on the people that spoke ahead of them. So if the first person said, yes, I'm an A, more likely the second, third, fourth people are going to say, yes, I'm an A. But if you find somebody that is not, and they're like, no, it's not for me, no, thank you, then guess what? It's going to be more people are going to follow suit to that person and say, no, thank you as well. So it's a very tricky situation when you ask the group in front of everybody. You can always tell them to put it in the chat, or you can actually tell them to get back with the person that invited them and let them know right away. And always offer the invite, or always tell on the slides, on the presentation when you're closing, that the person who invited you is going to ask you if you're an A, B, or C. So now your new people that you're presenting for feels comfortable to already ask the question because you told them that they're going to ask them if they're an A, B, or C. Does that make sense? Okay. So I'll tell you the people that I like to watch present. My favorite is Eric Grzybowski because he highlights the important matters of understanding the business side, and he makes it very relevant of people spending $400 on a purse for a girl, or going out to drink on a weekend, or eating out with their spouse, and how it's very inexpensive to get started and the risks are very low compared to a traditional business, right? So he's very quick, straight to the point, and I love that. Matt Morris is also really great. I was told that he doesn't very talk about the teledoc services. So if you're looking for that, he may not present on that. And then if you have somebody that is more analytical and they like slower, more detailed information on the knowledge that they're sharing, then Muzaffar is a really great presenter as well. And then of course, anytime Jesse presents, I always like to get people in front of Jesse McPherson. So those are the top leaders right at this moment that are presenting that I would recommend using, or you have access to me all the time. You should all have my calendar, which is calendly.com. I'll put it in the chat. And for those watching the recording, it's calendly.com/Melanie Levitz. So you feel free to book me. And my presentations are 30 minutes, so you can just book me for a 30-minute. If you are booking me to show somebody for you and you're not able to be there, put it in the comment section that I'm presenting on your behalf. You won't be able to attend and who I'm presenting for. And if you are going to be there, I still want you to put in the comment section who I'm presenting for and, you know, a little bit knowledge about that person so that I can gear the information in their favor of what they're interested in. Okay. Awesome. How is this? Did you gain a lot of information? You have questions? Yeah, okay, good. Comments?
That was a good breakdown, Mel.
Awesome. Thank you.
I lost sound.
What's that, Nancy?
I have no sound.
You can't hear us?
No, it just went out about 4 or 5 minutes ago. My volume is max.
Question? I can hear you fine. Do you have a question?
No, I didn't
No?
know.
Okay.
But hey, look, notes.
Yay! Perfect.
The hand's working.
Awesome. Amen. Rhonda, you have a question? I saw you unmuted, so I didn't know if you did or not.
I do have a question, actually.
Okay, what's your question?
Can you tell me, because I missed it, that's when the sound went out, when you explained the ABC?
Yeah,
Real
so
quick.
you're pretty much going to close with A, B, or C, and you're going to give permission to everybody in the room that that person who invited you is going to ask them if they're an A, B, or C.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Because it's very tricky if you ask everybody and you go around the room that are all guests and say, are you A, B, or C? So if somebody says they're a C, they're not interested, or whatever the case may be, then more chances are likely that the next people are going to follow suit. So
Gotcha.
if you know somebody that was in the group that's like, yeah, this is interesting, you can tell in the chat that they were liking it. and they're ready to get started, then I would select them first, because now they're more likely to say, yes, I'm ready to get started, I'm an A. And then you go around the room and ask everyone else, they're going to follow suit and say, yeah, I'm going to join, simply because more other people are joining.
That makes a lot of sense.
If you don't want to ask the room because you're not sure, then you can remind them that the person that invited them is going to ask them if they're an A, B, or C, which is what
Okay.
Eric does. Eric doesn't close the room. He says the person who invited you is going to call you and ask you if you're an A, B, or C. So just let them know, because maybes are weird and we're running a real business here.
Okay.
Okay. Rhonda says hi to you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Hey Mel, question.
Yeah.
With the keynotes, I know you said you could edit the keynotes, but for PowerPoints and but the PowerPoints, you said that we're unable to actually do the changes on those, or do we have to
No, you can
Google to
edit
see?
PowerPoint also.
Okay.
The only thing that I think that you can edit is PDF, unless you have a PDF editor program.
Okay, I got you.
Once you download the PowerPoint and you save it to your PowerPoint deck, you can
Right.
edit it from there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Now you may find that if you wanted to like move words around on the slide itself that's already there, you probably
Right.
can't do that, but you don't really need to do that, because we want to keep them as similar as possible. The only thing that you would edit the slides for is to add your own pictures, your own personal stories.
Okay.
So like my Hamilton picture, my Africa experience, my Guatemala bottle school trip, like they're all just personal stories. I'm not editing the actual presentation itself.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes. So mainly for that portion of the deal, well, the yeah, for that slide is mainly how we were in Vegas. We had the spear experience. I could
Yeah.
actually add that picture for that. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So if you have the receipt from the sphere,
Right.
you can add that receipt. And now if you have like for mine, let me go back to it so I could show you up close. So when you find a good deal and you use it, you can see that what I did was I screenshotted my price and I put our price, and I screenshotted the best online price. So
Gotcha.
you can see there's two different pictures here, and I just overlapped it to make it, smaller. And you can see the price is $774 here for the best online price, and then our price. And it was the same.
Okay.
You see March 14th, it was the same tickets, the same days, same everything, except ours was 500 or more less, 500 plus less.
Okay, I gotcha.
Okay. And then
Yes.
I pretty much posted this on my Instagram, and then I just saved this and I put it on my slide deck.
Okay.
So the best thing is when you find a good deal, what you'll want to do is you want to go find the best online price deal and snap a picture of that right away. Because now you can't go back and get the same date, because it's
Right.
the date's passed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Let's go
Any other
ViaGo.
questions? Let's
Yes.
ViaGo. Any other questions? Everyone knows where to go to get the slides?
I just downloaded the new one, so yes.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Awesome. And if you have any difficulties, you all have my phone number. Don't hesitate to text me, reach out. And if you're ready to start presenting and you want to just practice and do the first half, and I do the second half, then let's get that started so at least you're presenting. Okay? Because some people may not even want to see the business side, and you could just stop at the membership. So if I'm presenting and I'm not sure somebody may be interested in the business side, I'll let them know that this next slide this next portion that I'm going to go into is the business side. Is that something you're interested in, or I could just stop here? And if my feeling was right and they're like, no, I just want to be a club member, I say, okay, perfect. So what questions? I would say, what questions can I answer here before we get you started? Insinuating that they're joining, right? Because I didn't get to go into the package on, or the understanding of them getting their 6. And I also didn't get them to see what Isaac's message is because it's pretty much the business side, right? So I let them know down the road, they're going to be able to get their 6 as a member and get their fees waived. Not right now, because that's only for the ambassadors. But in the future, it will change to members as well.
Okay,
Right.
so that one would be verbal, you tell them, instead of seeing the slide. Okay, I got you.
Correct. Yep. All right, who's ready to start presenting?
I'm ready to start practicing.
Yay. Okay, you're gonna add a time on my calendar to do that?
Yes, I am looking at calendar now so I can put me in.
Okay, perfect. Just lock me in for a 60-minute session.
Will do.
We probably won't take that much time, but just in case.
Just in case. Got it.
Shelly?
I'm doing the same thing.
All right, perfect. Let's get it. All right, y'all. If you need me, I'm here. Don't
So you
hesitate
said-
to reach out. Yeah,
So you said to book the 60 minutes with you for the going
Yeah.
through. Just okay, I got you.
yep. Book a 60-minute session with me. All right, enjoy your weekend. Have fun at the Super Bowl if you're attending it. And we won't have a team call this week. I'll post this recording in the group chat. And if you need me, don't hesitate to reach out. A lot of you think I'm so busy, but I'm more time managed because I have this amazing calendar in front of me, and I get to fill it as much or as little as I want because I'm in charge. So you guys are actually my bosses because you fill my calendar for me, right? So don't hesitate to do that. It's available for you. And if you don't find something that is available, just text me and ask, and I'll see what I can do about moving things around for you. Okay?
Cool. What a woman.
All right, y'all. Love you. I'll see you soon. Have a good night. Bye.
Have a good night. Bye.
Have a good night, Joe.
Night,